Hi, I'm Chef Tomm. I'm a professional chef. I've trained all over the world. I've learned all kinds of culinary secrets, and now I'm going to teach them to you. Welcome back to Culinary Secrets. I'm Chef Tomm. Today we're doing some Thai dishes, kind of like a little Thai sampler. So first thing we're doing will be the Massaman curry chicken. Let's begin. So when you start with this dish, what you want to do is take your Massaman curry and put it in your saucepan, and you want to kind of cook this till it's aromatic. You can find this Massaman curry at any of your Asian stores, or find a recipe on my website. You want to cook this till it's very aromatic. Add my cardamom pods in here. All right, this is smelling very nice right now, so what I want to start doing is adding some of my ingredients to this. So I'm going to put some of my potatoes in here. Add some of my onions. Some of my chicken in here. And what I'm looking to do here is kind of mix everything together, get some of the flavors married up. I'm not looking to saute this. I'm not looking to get any color whatsoever. I'm just kind of looking to get all the flavors married up. Now that's kind of aromatic, it's a little mixed in. What I want to do is add in our chicken stock, add our coconut milk, and we're going to stir this up, and we're going to kind of put this to the back burner for about 10 to 15 minutes and plate it up at the end with the rest of our dishes. This dish, coconut milk soup with chicken, is one of the first dishes I had when I landed in Thailand. And the kind of school, the restaurant I was working over there, it was kind of a first meal, first kind of playtime for me. And it was kind of awkward because as a Western trained chef, one of the things I noticed that we don't usually put things in soups that we don't plan on eating or we find are tough. So if you look at some of our ingredients, we have the galangal, we have the lemongrass, we have the whole shallots. And when I went to eat the soup, they had nice big chunks, and when I first bit into it, it's like, oh, I chewed down on it, and I asked the chef, Roong, say, hey chef, am I supposed to eat this? And she said, do you want to eat it? It's like, well, no, I think it's kind of tough and kind of bitter, so we'll don't eat it. And so, you know, and same thing with lemongrass, I was kind of baffled. So again, if you want to eat it, eat it. If you don't want to eat it, don't eat it, but let's get started. This is called the kaffir lime leaf, and this is one leaf, so when you buy them, if they're separated, you need two. So starting with this leaf, what you want to do is kind of fold together and pull down. Same with the second part. And what you want to do with this is take this kind of, put it together, maybe a little chiffonade on it, and slice it thin. This leaf is very fibrous and very difficult to eat, but a lot of these things are in the soup. So, gonna start with the soup. We're gonna take our coconut milk. You can use coconut milk or coconut cream. Coconut cream, the only difference is it's a little bit thicker. The stuff we have here called coconut cream is kind of Coco Lopez, which has a ton of sugar in it. You do not want to use that. So getting this started, all you want to do is get this coconut milk hot. This is a very quick, very easy soup. Once the coconut milk's hot, we're pretty much going to start putting all the ingredients in there and let it go for about 10-15 minutes for flavors to marry, and that'll be that. This is your galangal. This is what we're using right here for a dish. This is in the ginger family. This is extremely fibrous and kind of has like a menthol smell to it. but it adds a great flavor. There's really no substitute for this. I see some people try to use ginger, say, oh, it's close enough. It's really not. If you can find galangal, that's great. If you can't, just skip it all together. You'll be fine. The other thing we have in there is lemongrass. And when you start messing around with lemongrass, this is a very fibrous thing, and kind of want to activate the flavors in this. So what we do in the kitchen is we give it a smack. Make sure that other people know what you're doing, so don't think you're freaking out on them. But once you kind of crack it open and get the smells to it, and you just cut it as thin as you possibly can, and that's how I use lemongrass. All right, so now our coconut milk is coming up to heat, so we'll start adding our mushrooms. These are oyster mushrooms, our galangal, shallots, lemongrass. Now here's something a little bit different. You know, in Thailand, they don't waste anything. So when I was there, we'd actually use the roots of the cilantro, but I don't see those out too many. Sometimes I see them in Asian markets, but feel free to use the stems too. They have a lot of great flavor in them. A little bit of our chilies. Watch out for the Thai chilies. They'll get you. Let's get some of our chicken in here. I never talk about the amounts on the show, but you can get them at cheftomm.com along with other recipes. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the back, and only thing we have to do to this is actually season it up. We're gonna have to put our fish sauce or lime juice at the end, but we'll let it marry up in flavor and add that to it a little later on. The next dish we make today is papaya salad. This is probably one of the most famous salads they have in Thailand. But with this papaya salad, you have to have rice. And not just any rice, not the jasmine rice. You want to have glutinous rice, sweet rice, or better known as sticky rice. So this is the type of rice you're looking for. Again, it says glutinous rice, sweet rice on it. I'm not saying that's a brand used, but that's a brand we found at our local Asian market. So let's get started. Now what you want to do to start this is you want to kind of rinse your rice in cold water. And you want to rinse this rice until the water runs clear. And then you want to let it sit overnight. Now, I've already done this. I watched this yesterday and it's been sitting overnight. And here's kind of what it looks like now. And you might wonder, well, chef, you know, why do I want to let it sit overnight? You know, that's a lot of forethought. And what happens if you don't let it sit overnight? Shortly after it's cooked, it starts turning hard again. So it's kind of a bad thing to have happen. So what you want to do is put in your steamer. You know, you don't have a steamer, you have a steamer at home, whatever you have, that's fine. And you want to let this go for about 15-20 minutes until you taste it. And of course, it'll be soft. It'll be sticky. It's not like your sticky rice you might have at home if you're doing a peel-off method. You just mix and mix and mix it until it becomes sticky. This is actually really sticky rice. It sticks together on purpose, not an accident. So we'll put a cover on this and let this go. All right, now we're getting ready to make a papaya salad. So let me tell you about some of these ingredients that you may or may not have around you. Palm sugar. This is a very common sugar in Thailand. If you don't have palm sugar, you can probably get it with using regular sugar or light brown sugar, but this definitely has a nice, interesting taste. You can find this at your local Asian market. Very easy. This is a very common ingredient to have. Okay, so next kind of new ingredient for you guys would be the fish sauce. Now, this fish sauce is salt substitute. This is not something you want to take a sip of and say, oh my gosh, that's some really phenomenal fish sauce. This is the underlying flavor. This is only for salt flavor. Very fishy. The way they make this is they take all kinds of small fish and they put it with salt, kind of press it down and kind of let it ferment for a little while, and what comes out of it is fish sauce. So as you can imagine, it's not the best tasting stuff in the world, but as an underlying flavor, it's absolutely fantastic. The Asian long bean, this is something, again, you can find at any of your Asian markets, but you know, if you can't find a long bean, just use a regular green bean, possibly a haricot vert, the French green bean, and work out just fine for you. And last but not least is the papaya. Now this papaya is kind of the papaya you see in the market, except it's unripe. It's kind of soft, it's green. I kind of peeled away the backside of it, and this is what it looks like. If you can't find papaya, don't worry about it. Use cucumber or carrots and you'll be just fine. The Thais use a lot of these unripened things, sometimes a mango, sometimes papaya. They like to flavor it. It's a little bit different. And here, this papaya actually doesn't taste like a whole lot unripened. When it's ripened, it tastes a whole lot sweeter, but this is a great product and it's very firm for what we're doing. So working with papaya, we have these kind of cool little gadgets, and if you don't have one of these, you can just simply julienne it and it'll be fine. What you want to do is just take these guys down. And you'll notice I only did half of this, so if you're gonna only use part of it for now, if this part that's not touched, it'll stay good for about a week after, no problems. Or perhaps you do what my wife does, and what she does, she peels the whole thing and puts it in a black bag and holds it about a week also. In the house, my wife is Thai, her name is June, and she's also a chef, so I kind of tease her about cooking and different recipes, and I used to tell her who makes the best pad thai in town, and when we first started dating, she goes, I don't know, and of course I do, but of course she's a phenomenal chef too. Okay, so when you're peeling this papaya down, you'll notice here it's beginning to get soft, and you don't want to go too much further than that. You don't want to cut into the seed cavity, but I have enough papaya here for the salad, so I'm going to put this off the side and let's make the salad. Believe it or not, making papaya salad can be very dangerous. When I was in Thailand, I was so excited to be there. I wanted to see how everything worked, and I dropped the chili in, and dropped my garlic in, and start pounding this. And when I started pounding on this, I was looking down inside the bowl, and what happened was I pounded down, and part of the juice from the chili went into my eye. That was a bad day. Hurt my feelings, and it took me about 15-20 minutes to get that fixed. Now you notice I only put one chili in here. If you're like a chili monger and you can handle 2 or 3, put them in there. I would imagine the average person, non-Thai, could probably handle like 1 or 2. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to mash this all down. Put some of my sugar in here to kind of help this mash into it. So what I want to have here is just a nice little mush of the garlic all chopped up and my chili all chopped up. So once you have this paste ready to begin, what you want to do is start putting your papaya in, and what you're doing, you're kind of pushing down on it and pulling the spoon back up, because you want to get the flavor throughout the whole thing. I had a class one time teaching this, and I walked out of the room, and the students actually pounded this papaya down till it was the juice, way too far. All you want to do is get this pound up, get the flavors. You kind of look at that, it's kind of pounding, the flavors are marrying up in there. That's really good. So what I want to do next is add a little fish sauce. A little fish sauce. A little of my lime juice, freshly squeezed, of course. I want to give this a taste. So what I'm trying to find here is a balance between sweet, sour, and the saltiness. So it needs a little more salt. So I'm gonna add the fish sauce in, a little more lime juice. So I'm gonna finish this by adding some of my long green beans. Pound those into it a little bit. And last but not least, my tomatoes. When you're making these dishes, just remember, if you want more or less of something, do it. It's not gonna hurt my feelings at all. After all, you have to eat it. Okay. So now my papaya salad is complete. I'm gonna put this on the side. I'm gonna plate it all up again in a minute. If you're new to Thai food, this next dish, pad Thai, is probably one of the first dishes you could try in a Thai restaurant. When I met my wife, who is Thai, the first restaurant we went to was a Thai restaurant, and this is the first dish I ever had with her. So it's kind of special to me, brings back a lot of great memories, and it's a fantastic dish. Now, being married to a Thai person, we're kind of integrated with Thai community here in the South Bay area, and I've kind of learned some tricks from watching these guys. So let me talk a little about what we have here. This sauce here is my fish sauce, my oyster sauce, vinegar, and paprika. And one of my wife's friends kind of turned me on to this trick. Instead of trying to put each thing in separately, make a sauce, add as much as you want when you want to, or some of the things they do now is actually buy a pad Thai sauce, which makes life extremely easy. But you can find this recipe more at cheftomm.com. So let's get started. Now the first thing you want to do with this is we want to cook our eggs. The eggs go really quickly. You know, we kind of want to follow order of operations. You want to get in and out really quick. So just drop a little oil into the wok. And you know, if you don't have a wok, use a saute pan. No big deal. So I want to drop the eggs in here, and pretty much what I want to do is scramble them up. We kind of want like a dry scramble. All right, this is what we're looking for. I want to take this out. And we'll reserve these to the end. Normally, I'm not a big fan of taking things and putting them out, but this really has to be done like this. Now, the rest of the stuff is pretty much order of operations. What's gonna take the longest has to go in first. So what's taking the longest here is gonna be the shrimp. So let's drop these guys down. This guy's a quick stir. And then we're gonna take our rice noodles. These rice noodles are already cooked, so all you pretty much have to do is soak them in water. Get them soaked for about a half hour. That'll be good enough for what we need. They will get softer inside the pan, so be all set. Just stir these around for a couple minutes. And what you want to do next is add some of the sauce to it. Now, some of the problems I see with people making the pad Thai for the first time is it starts getting dry. So, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this all dry. It's beginning to stick. Oh my gosh, bad day. Add a little water to it, you know. So if it's getting dry, drop it in, help it out a little bit. That's be just fine. Add a little bit more of this sauce. Get a little darker color. Okay, so you can see how the noodles have now shrunk down a little bit. That's good. That's what I'm looking for. So, finishing this dish, I'm gonna add my eggs back in. Add some of my bean sprouts. Add my green onions to this guy, and stir this up. So, plating this guy up now. What you want to do is you kind of want to grab the noodles, kind of like do the same thing with pasta, and you want to pick these things up, put it down, give it a little twist to give the appearance a little height. Kind of take these your shrimp and put them down around the bowl. Make it look a little bit nice. It's not going to taste any better, but it's going to look a whole lot nicer. And the rest of the stuff we just want to drop on top. So I'm gonna finish with a little more green onions, and of course the toasted peanuts, and there's our pad Thai. All right, now we're getting ready to plate up our Massaman curry with chicken, but a quick note for you guys, when you go to buy these ingredients, don't buy them from a mainstream supermarket. You get noodles like this costs about $1. At an Asian market, probably costs you $3-4. At a regular store or the coconut milk, all those ingredients are much cheaper at Asian market, so take a trip to Asian market. I know it's kind of scary for you the first time, it was for me too, but take a look around, save yourself a ton of money, have a good time at it. Now, with this soup, again, we're trying to balance a little flavor in here. So we have our fish sauce for the saltiness, we have our tamarind for the sour, we have our palm sugar for the sweetness. So what I'm gonna do is kind of mess around with this flavor. You know, everyone's got a little bit of different flavor profile where they want this to be at. So, you know, I've got mine, I like mine a little bit sour, not too sweet, not too salty. So I'm gonna drop this stuff down and give it a quick stir. See where this is at? That's right where I wanted to be. So now that I have this, let's plate this up a little bit. Garnish it with a little of my green onions and my fried leeks, and there's Massaman curry with chicken potatoes. Now we're getting ready to plate up the coconut milk soup. Again, with this soup, the last thing you have to do is to kind of taste it, make sure seasoning's perfect for you. So, you know, they don't put the lime juice in to the very end. The Thai's philosophy on it is we put it in too early, the flavor kind of dissipate, and it's actually kind of true. So I'm gonna dump a little bit of this in here. Remember, I'm still looking for the same balance I was looking for earlier. I'm gonna drop my tomatoes in now, just because you put them in too early, they tend to overcook. A little bit of fish sauce in here. Stir this around. Kind of give it a taste. A little more fish sauce. Again, don't sip this stuff. Perfect. Nice easy plate up. This is a very rustic soup. Remember, if you don't eat some of the galangal stuff in there, just spit it out. No one will get mad at you, even if you're in a restaurant. I'm gonna garnish this with a little bit of cilantro and some green onions. And there's your soup. We're almost ready to plate the papaya salad now, but one of the things we have to have with this is the sticky rice. We started this a while ago, and let's take a look at this. Ooh. Now when you take a look at this rice, you want to pick it up, feel nice and light in areas, it's not crunchy. That's perfect rice. Some of the things you didn't see in the middle of this, I actually took the rice out, and this kind of looks like a hat, and but you want to actually push this down and rotate this around and put it back in. And what that does, if there's some rice in the middle, sometimes it doesn't cook all the way, or you put a lot of rice in at one time, the inside doesn't cook, so you smash this down, you push it around, it comes out perfect. So I'm gonna take some of this rice, put it in my bowl, get it ready. So the papaya salad's all set. I wanna kind of take this down. There's a little juice in the bowl. You can pour it on top of it, it's kind of like your vinaigrette. Sometimes the Thais like these little tiny shrimp. I tend to find that Americans also don't like that. But, you know, if you want those in there, put those in there. Sometimes there's actually even a Thai eggplant that goes in there you can put in there also. So I want to finish this off with the peanuts. There's your papaya salad with sticky rice. Enjoy it. Okay guys, that's the show for today. I hope you enjoy my Thai sampler. There's much more to come in the future. If there's something you've seen in the restaurant, say, geez, how'd they make it? Send me email. I love to hear from you, and possibly in a future show, we can take your idea and make more episodes. So that's it. Happy cooking. See you next time.